Should tell us when it starts. There we go. Started.
Yeah, it says start a recording. There we go.
Ace, what up?
What
Man,
up,
what
my
we
dude? What
doing?
up? What up, Ed? How's everything, man? How's everything?
Every, everything is 100, man. Productive. Getting it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Oh, man. Like, be better than me, man. Be better than me. So, what you end up doing when you come from Cuba, man? You went straight back to work? Got with
Went
family?
straight
What's up?
back to work, working 16-hour shifts. You know how it is. I work for the, I work in New York. I
All
do
right.
electrical work, so I had to
Mm-hmm.
go straight back to work.
All right.
I'm a supervisor. I got what is it? I got about 40, 45 men under me. So,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with stuff like that. A little tired from it. Been working a couple of 16-hour shifts, but what
True,
do I do
true.
with that? Instead of taking the overtime money, I take it as time off, and I'm back in Cuba
Yeah.
or I'm in another country. I was thinking about actually going to DR for a couple of days. I wanted to do, like I told you before, I'm a scuba diver
Mm.
on the side, so I'm thinking about going
Oh,
to do
yeah, you
some
did tell me
night.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to do some night diving over there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah, I haven't been in the water in a minute, so thinking about going over there. And I know this is going to get a little geeked out. I'm thinking about changing my
Mm-hmm.
equipment from a regular to what they call a back wing and plates. So I'm thinking about going over there and testing out some new equipment that I want to invest in for scuba diving. And maybe,
Okay.
maybe,
Dope,
maybe
dope,
get another certification. My
dope.
certifications are pretty good up there, so maybe get another one.
So you was telling me, man, you can dive pretty deep too, man. Those some crazy numbers you gave me. I think it was in the hundreds
Yeah,
of feet.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a tech diver yet because, to be quite honest, I can't afford the equipment for that. Starts at like eight, nine, $10,000. That's just for the tank.
Yeah,
That's the basic pack. So,
that sounds
but
about right.
dude, I know people that have that and they dove the blue hole in Belize,
Mm,
375 feet down. That's
yeah.
crazy, dude.
I know what you're talking
That's
about too. Blue hole joint. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
man,
some
that
nice
thing is
action.
nice.
Oh,
And then, so when you
yeah.
get to the bottom, you have to swim 75 yards in this cave through this cave. And then when you come up in the middle of the ocean, the boat's there waiting for you.
Whoa,
Eh,
that's dope.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
your safety stops is like 2 hours long. I mean, you have to spend a day just placing air tanks, just in case, emergency air tanks,
Mm,
just in case.
yeah,
And
that's
sometimes
major.
they got these new things where you can put your iPad in a case and you leave it
Mm,
down there the day before because you gotta find some way of killing time and just instead of just staring at the abyss.
got you. Got
So
you.
I look forward to that. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going to do some spearfishing in DR. They got this thing for lionfish hunting, because
Yeah.
they're invasive species. So I'm thinking about going to do some of that and some cave diving.
Straight
Anyway,
up. Straight up.
something different.
So, Cuba, man. Havana, Cuba. Man, what's your
Bro.
take on it, man?
Um, all right. So which way you want to go first? Politically, you want to
Because I
go from
know,
just
well, okay. I know last time I was there, like me and you linked up. That
yep.
actually first time us meeting was it 2 weeks ago now? A week and a half ago,
Yeah,
something like
2 weeks
that. When
ago
was
now.
yeah, about 2 weeks
2 weeks
ago.
ago now.
And like I know there's a lot going on between the United States and Cuba at the time. So I guess we can start out with the politics of the whole situation. We got to kind of be careful because we
Yeah.
travel there a lot. Um,
Well, I'm a different person. Like I've been to some of these. I've volunteered in a lot of third world areas. I don't go to another country, especially Cuba, given the political climate, and act American. I go over there, and obviously I stick out, but I try and blend in as much as possible. I don't go against the grain. I don't go doing stupid stuff, even because we're both YouTubers or we're both up and coming YouTubers. I don't go
right.
over there do stupid pranks for clicks or anything like that. I respect the
Hmm.
people and I respect the culture.
Yeah.
Because God forbid we get into trouble over there. There's no,
Yeah, it'd be different. Oh
there's,
yeah, they want
yeah,
some
man.
time out of
We
you. They want some
Yeah, they
time out
want
of
some
you.
time, and no Americans coming to fight for you. I mean, remember this is a communist country,
Right.
but
So there's no such thing as agreement.
yeah,
So
yeah, man.
yeah, I get it.
But people think it's this far off land that you can't get to, and people don't realize that you fly to either Houston or you fly to Miami. or I think Atlanta, and you can go straight there from Miami. It's
Nah,
32
you go,
minutes.
yeah, from Tampa or Miami is
There we go,
direct
Tampa
flight
or
from
Miami.
there. Yeah, yeah. Those are two.
32
It used to
minutes,
have
42 minutes. I'm sorry.
yeah, it used to be direct flight from Atlanta back whenever Obama opened it up, or came to agreement with Cuba. And
Same here with
that's when I
JFK.
yeah. So that's when I took my first direct flight there in 2017. And of course, after Biden came in, um, it it stopped, and yeah, the flights were scarce. So now you have to
Yep,
connect in Miami. And now, if you
you have to
notice in the
connect them
last
in.
year, if you notice in the last year now, they make it harder. Well, for me, like they make it harder for me to get back to Atlanta. So it used to be Atlanta and a 1.5, 2 hour layover in Miami, Miami directly to Havana. Now coming back has changed. Coming back is actually it's an overnight layover in Miami now, and then you catch the plane in the morning. And
Dude,
I'm
that
like,
sucks.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's scary, man. So what your situation's been out there in Havana, man? I mean, like how are the people to you?
The people to me are fine. Listen, I've been going since 2018. I've made
Mm,
some friends, I've made some acquaintances, and I've made some people that I thought were friends, but then turned out to be something else.
yeah,
For the most
yeah,
part, people are pretty good. Everybody's trying to get a come up. Once they see you as an American, they're trying
of
to
course.
they're trying to get a come up. I'm actually going to do a video on how hard it is at times to record in Havana because you'll be recording and someone go, my friend, and I'm like, dude, I'm recording right now. Give me a minute. Oh,
Hmm.
open me. So just one question. And yeah, like, dude, you know how many times I had to do something over and over because people see you and they just see you as opportunity. I've had two situations once where,
Mm,
I'm out, I'm recording or I'm taking night photography.
right,
And come on, we both from the hood or we're both from the streets. And you can see it a
right,
mile away when someone's trying to line you up. I have someone coming at me
yeah,
this way and someone trying to get my attention this way. And I was like, Barate, stop it now because
yeah,
tell you right now, I'm gonna drag you up and down these streets. That was one situation. And then I had another
yeah,
situation where a guy was asking me for money and he followed me for 3 blocks. And after the third block, I turned around and was like, yo, how you want to
mm,
handle this? But I was shocked because I've never had a situation like that happen to me other than those two times because tourists is so protected, especially in the tourist area, by
mm,
police. Like,
mm,
even if you're a local and you're walking with a tourist and it looks like you have a problem, the police will immediately, grab
yeah.
up that
You
that
get straight
local
on it.
Cuban. Yeah, they're on it because remember, most of their money comes from tourism. See, so they
Yeah,
don't want people messing with tourists because messing with tourists is messing with the government's money. And they're like, nah, that can't happen. So I like it out there. I don't, like I've been to many other places, but I like Cuba out there because it's different. You
it's different.
disconnect.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it's different. You
Most
disconnect.
definitely. You can disconnect from the
Yeah,
world.
you
Literally,
disconnect from the world,
literally
literally.
disconnect, y'all. When he said disconnect, I mean, he means disconnect. I mean, it's out of
Yeah,
there.
you literally disconnect. And
Oh,
like, then you got to be smart because you got to take enough money to last you because your bank accounts or your credit cards and stuff, it's
mhm,
not working out there. See, so
correct.
you got to plan. So I like it. I like it. I go to jazz concerts out there. Some of my friends go for the tobacco, for the cigars. I'm not a cigar smoker. It's just not my thing. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I really enjoy myself when I'm out there.
Yeah.
I enjoy the music. I enjoy the dance. You saw me out there. I
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah.
So I really
Gotcha.
appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah.
However, real quick,
However,
one of my friends that's from Cuba, but he works with me here in New York. He was like, "You
yeah.
always stay in the hood areas. You always stay in the hood." But to me, that's where the fun. That's where the life is.
Mm.
That's where you can interact with
That's where
people
the
because when
culture
you're
is.
that's where the culture is. Because yes, you could stay in Siboney or Miramar, you could stay in Playa, and there are individuals there, but at a certain time,
Vidado.
Yeah, Vidal, it's
It's
dead.
cultureless. It's cultureless at a certain time, right? There's no
Exactly.
culture. There's
There's
nothing
nobody
going on.
out there. There's nothing
Right.
going on. There's
And y'all,
nothing
like, if you
going on.
don't know, y'all, I'm the one. I usually stay in Vidado, like Miramar, places like that. And even Veradero, I've stayed in Veradero about 3 times, and it's a little different. It's nothing quite like Central, man. Like Central Havana,
Exactly.
Cuba. It's nothing quite like it. Like you're not gonna find it anywhere else in the world, y'all. It's different for sure.
It's,
So,
it's a different feel. It's a different vibe.
me personally, I've never ran into any um negative situations as far as somebody trying to rob me or anything like that. No violent acts. I never really ran into it. But like I said, out of my 29 times going to Cuba, I've only stayed in Centro 5 or 6 times. The
Yeah.
other times it's been Miramar and Vedado, and leaving out, going 2 hours east to, Veradero, or on another side of Vedado. So maybe that kind of kept me out of the mix, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But
Listen,
yeah,
people in Miramar don't need our money. They got Miramar. They
yeah,
got money out
Miramar. There, I'm like,
That's
I'm certain they have families in Miramar that can compete with families in America by far,
exactly. That's why
by
they're not
far.
looking at us.
So
Or
y'all
Siboney.
don't, so y'all don't get it misconstrued about Cuba. Everybody there isn't broke or poor, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute because the actuality of it is they're not exactly poor people, and I'm going to try to give y'all some more in-depth details of what I mean when I say they're not really poor people. Um, I guess I can tell y'all legally. I guess I can tell, right? Um, but
We'll
yeah,
find out, right?
the situations that I see in Cuba, or I like to call it the survival tactics, which leads to compulsive lying.
Correct.
They are a lying group of people. I don't mean to say it in a bad way. I mean to say it in the most sincere way I can say. They are a lying people. You, I've been 29 times to Cuba. Literally, when I met you, that was my 29th trip to Cuba. I've been to Santiago, so I've been to other areas of Cuba, like Vanales, Santiago, Santa Fe. I've been to some places, and I understand survival. I do understand survival, but 29 trips, and I'm just starting to figure out certain things about Cubans and how they live, and also their benefits from their government. Okay, a lot of people don't speak on it. Um, I've only known one other person that knew about it until I told other people, of course. Um, but they get benefits from their government. They
Yeah.
get
Basically
benefits,
what we would call the food stamps of the 80s. 80s and 90s.
right?
The
And
food stamps.
they are supplemented highly. I guess that's how they became dependent on their government. And I guess I can kind of say that's when everything started making sense to me as far as, you know, um, the people that are saying, oh, I need help, I need this, I need that. Well, when they tell you that, they're really saying they need the extra
Mm.
because you'll notice something in Havana. You don't see homeless people like that. You don't see anybody begging for food like that because they're eating. Um, they have a bread pantry. They have a meat pantry. They get the essential boxes. What they call it back in America. I mean, like in America, we would call it a commodity box. Back when my grandmother used to go pick it up. It's called a commodity box. It gives you the essentials: rice, beans, canned fish, canned beans, fruits, vegetables, the block of cheese. So Cubans get that, and I think up to 2 times a month. And they also, at a certain age, start getting a pension, or depending on their health status, or even if they've been in prison, they get some kind of monthly pension, um, that they can
Mm.
survive off of. And the craziest part to me, and I'm just figuring this out, y'all, from like 2017 to now, they also get 4 packs of cigarettes in those
I didn't
boxes
know
that
that.
they
I didn't
get.
know about the.
Yeah,
cigarettes.
like I thought it was a joke. Yeah, so they get 4 packs of cigarettes, and man, man. I mean, great people, but they have their ways, just like we do here in the United States. We all got our ways, but man, yeah, it gets a little outrageous sometimes with the fibbing, the fibs,
Yeah,
the lies. But
I
cool
agree.
place, man. Cool place, man. As far as
Where you and
situations,
I, I'm sorry.
mhm. No, like go
Where
ahead.
you and I might disagree just a little bit is I do not I personally from what I see do think I don't think they get a lot. It's not like the food stamps here, people here can get overweight on food stamps here. That's not the same over there in Cuba. I think what do they get? 13 eggs for the month per person. So so if you look at it on a singular way per, for one person they get 13 eggs, I think a pound of rice, I think what is it, 12 pounds of chicken or something like that, and that has to stretch for the month. From what I understand, from what I'm learned is only once a month. I could be mistaken, but that's what I learned is only once a
Hmm.
month, and it could be difficult. So the
Yeah.
excess is subsidized by if they have connections back to the U.S. With friends
Miami.
or
Hmm.
with tourists there. So I will disagree slightly. Say it is challenging for individuals that don't have a job or a good job or something like that. It can be very challenging. So tourism can make up the difference there. The whole thing with the packs of cigarettes, that's something new. That's crazy to me. But that's just,
Yeah.
again, I don't smoke,
I
so it's
just
just
figured it out like from a
yeah.
Cuban, and I'm like, you never told me that. But yeah, it's true. It came out of Cuban's mouth that I know because I've been knowing
But
for a long
cigarettes are so
time.
cheap over there. What is it?
That's why
260
they give it to
peso.
him.
It's like
Yeah, what
50
is that
cents
to us?
US
It's like
for
50
a
cents,
box
right?
of cigarettes.
Right,
That's
right.
insane. I
And
mean,
premium
now,
tobacco, Cuban
and it's
tobacco.
funny because I was talking to this person over there, and they said, "Listen, you guys smoke cigarettes, we smoke tobacco." And I was like, they don't even consider smoking cigarettes because they said the tobacco that they have, it's so
Natural.
much better
No
and it's
chemicals. Yeah,
natural,
there's
no
no
chemicals,
chemicals.
no filters, all of that
Uh,
stuff. Either
yeah,
way,
that's why
it's
you
still not
see they
something.
usually chain smoke. They smoke a lot because,
Big time.
yeah,
Everybody here smokes.
yep,
Everybody. If you
everybody
met a
is supposed
dude or
to.
you met a girl and you think they don't smoke, lies. They smoke.
Yeah.
Everybody smoke. Everybody smoke. That's the hard part. Like if
Hmm.
you go to and it's not just that. I don't know if you ever like you remember we went to that restaurant One Piece, and if
Yeah.
you go around the time when kids get out of school, you'll see kids coming in the restaurant smoking a cigarette, ordering their food,
Hmm.
and I'm looking like shocked, like, yo, this is crazy. Like, what are you doing smoking a cigarette? You're a kid. And it is just
Tobacco.
natural. No one bats an eye. No one. I'm
Mm-mm.
like,
They probably
wow, that's
started like
crazy.
well, we did the same thing in the United States. I remember the guys in like middle school sneaking behind the houses, smoking the cigarettes before getting on the bus and stuff. 12,
But
13,
people
14 years
snuck to
old.
do it. It was
Yeah.
taboo.
Hmm.
It is just on Jump Street there.
Yeah, we just go all the way in. Yeah. True.
Yo,
True.
it is just on Jump Street.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, man, but my ventures in Cuba, man, have been quite interesting. Especially with the ladies. Ladies, man. Fellas, if y'all plan on going to Cuba, y'all plan on going to Cuba.
listen,
Ladies, yeah, ladies are gorgeous. They're natural, man, and of course, they're looking for help. For the most part, they're looking for help,
correct.
and and they don't ask of much. They don't ask of much at all. You know, but yeah, y'all most definitely need to check out the ladies, man. Cuba is a hidden gem, but
It is a hidden gem. You're
it's
gonna find
always
beautiful Latinas there.
yeah, but it's always situations with women. Y'all have to be careful. Y'all have to be careful in that category, man. It gets kind of wild, man. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your heart. That's most of all. Like protect your heart, fellas. When you go there, know that like you only going out there to sightsee. It's like it's temporary. Like all your feelings are like temporary. Don't make them permanent because you're gonna get hurt. Don't do that. Please don't. I've seen it. Um, but yeah, man, like I love that place, man.
Because
I
you're
love
gonna
it.
have Latinas there. Remember, you have guys that they understand you're a tourist. As even if you come over there speaking
Mm,
Spanish, they still
they
see
still know.
you as a
They still know.
gringo. So
Right.
you're going to have, from what I've seen, from what I've seen with some of my friends there, from what I've seen with, I hope this is not wrong to say with you guys, you're going to have people that cater to you, and it could get easily
Absolutely.
to get caught up in that, and
Hmm.
I've seen that with some of the people that we hung out with. It's
Hmm.
easy for someone to fill that feminine void and to cater to you. And if you are in a relationship, it could get challenging. But if you're not and you're a single dude, then it's your playground like any other place. It's your
Mm,
playground, and you
yeah.
can enjoy as much stuff as you want. But I agree with you. Understand that, and it's not just there. It's just like any other place that you travel to, whether it be DR, whether it be to Paraguay, whether it be to what's some of these other Latin America,
Hmm.
Colombia,
Um,
Brazil,
Chile,
all of these
Ireland,
places.
Brazil.
Yeah, it's a bait and switch. It's all an act. It's all a con. It's challenging, I would say, for any single guy over there trying to find real connection. It would be challenging over a long distance
Yeah.
relationship,
You
and
can't.
not even, yeah.
I mean,
And even
fella,
if you live
it's
there,
and then yeah, then let's do it like this. Like I'm going to say this. You always have to look at your geographics when you're in Cuba. Always. Okay. All women don't have access to Centro. Fellas, Centro is its own land. It's its own swag. It's different, right? Like Centro.
correct.
I mean, you got Centro here, like you got everything else. Okay. Um, like you meet a young lady in Havana, and she tells you that she lives in Centro, or she hangs out in Centro at night, or she goes to club in Centro. 9 times out of 10, she's into that lifestyle, right? And that lifestyle,
Hmm.
what I mean by that is the survival lifestyle, right? Um, I would not call any women in Cuba prostitutes. They're
No.
survivors. They're not like Medellin, to where you go to Parque Taz and they walk around and they're putting themselves on display and they're giving you that eye. And it's obvious, like all you got to say is meet up and then a key and, it's on. And Central has its own culture, it has its own movement, its own wave. And but I can say this, I've met young ladies in Cuba that's from outside of Central, from like Miramar and Vedado and even like Santiago and Las Tunas. A1, bro. Nothing like what I've met in Centro, which like I said, I only hung in Centro maybe 3 times now. It's been 2 times with you and one time before you came. Because I think I came 2 weeks before I met you. I came to Cuba as well. I think I
Hmm.
was by myself or my cousin. I think my cousin was there too. But like I said, I had never really hung out in Central. I didn't know about VS, you know. So we'll talk about VS in a minute, y'all. But yeah, so I didn't know about VS. So um it has quality in Cuba. Don't get it misconstrued. Don't get it jacked up. It has quality in Cuba. It has waifu material. Now, if you're willing to take that risk and go for it, you have to do it expeditiously because like if you're not there and you're not giving them attention, you just don't know because they're most of them are still in survival mode regardless. That's
Exactly.
any of Latin America, the Caribbean, it's all going to be about the same. So Cuba's, they're on the same page. But they have quality in Cuba. They have quality out there, most definitely. So y'all need to make sure y'all check that out. Um,
Yeah,
what
it's
else you
like
want to tap in on?
it's like one of those things what they said, if you meet somebody in the city versus meet someone in the countryside. It's like, I mean, we're both, our family's both from the South. And it's like,
Right.
where they say, I want a country person, you know what I mean? And because they're just raised different, they have different
You get better
qualities.
quality on the outside all the time.
Yeah,
That's just like
yeah. So that's
Atlanta,
where that comes from.
Georgia. It's just like Atlanta, Georgia to Albany or Macon, Georgia or Columbus, Georgia. You're going to go out there, you're going to find
Correct.
something less tonic with. I mean, less tampered with than in Atlanta, Decatur, Stone Mountain, the city parts. Rural is always going to win when it comes down to quality. Um, that's just how it is anywhere in
Yeah,
the
because
country, really.
in the country, it's more family oriented because there's more
Morals,
reliance on the morals and
morals,
reliance on one another, interconnection.
exactly.
See, so with that comes a lot of cultural and good child rearing and stuff like that. Dads. Listen,
Hmm.
the thing that kept me on the straight and narrow is, like I said, my dad. He kept his foot in my tail. So that's
Right.
why, I've
And my
never.
dad too,
There's a
and
lot
my
of.
and mom.
Yeah, that's why I've never been arrested. I've never had handcuffs on me. I've never done a lot
That's
of
good.
things. Why? Because I had that father that he didn't play, and I was more afraid of the consequences of him from
Him,
him
right?
than any court or
Yeah,
police or
Mondo.
anything like that. So yeah, so it's the same thing. It's the same principles, in the city versus the country.
I see. I see.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you got to deal with the
Almost that.
lies. You have to deal with the lies
Yeah,
of, the baby
and
needs
and
milk. You got to deal with the lies of, oh, my friend, or here's this one. Oh, you remember me? You remember me? Mind you, like,
no,
dude, dude,
no,
dude,
I
sir, I
don't.
don't remember you from anywhere. Like, you remember me? You remember me? And they'll quote someplace, oh, at the airport. And at the
Hmm.
airport, you see a million people. So then all of a sudden you're thinking for a second, and as you can't get caught up in those lies. You remember me? You remember me?
Hmm.
Oh, my friend. Or the thing I've seen before is a guy will put like this fake. I want to say this fake bandage on his like chest or something like that, and he'd be like, "Yo,
Yeah,
look at what I'm dealing with," and da 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 da. You need to help me. One guy told me I'm not black because I didn't help them,
yeah. It's
yeah, you're gonna get stuff like that. You're gonna
like
get
anything
the
for the
guilt
almighty
treatment.
dollar, man.
Exactly.
Anything for the almighty dollar.
You're gonna get
That's the
guilt
world,
treated.
though. And that's the world, though. That's not just Cuba. That's the world, though. That's the
Now,
world.
have you ever had this though,
Mm.
where there's not respect of space, right? See, so they'll come and ask you, but they're all up on you, and it's like, whoa, 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 hold up, give
I
me,
think it's more so
like,
of a culture thing. I think it's a culture
yeah,
type of thing. Because I even notice when I stand in line with them at the airport or anywhere, they tend to get very close. We kind of give ourselves
room. And then you start doing
3 feet or
this,
whatever.
you start patting for
Right.
your
Like
wallet
then
and
you
stuff like that.
start moving to the side to make sure that they know you see them
Yeah.
and they don't budge because it's part of their culture. So like they be that close, they be right on my book sack in my carry on when I'm at the airport. I'm like, why are you on my book sack? It's part of their
Yeah,
culture.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's for something you had to get comfortable
And
with.
they don't
But
listen to instructions when they say, hey, zone one or first class, come up. They're already in line like they're in first class. I'm like, how we got 40 people in first class? There's only 16 seats up there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's weird. Great people, great to have a good time with, but I'm gonna tell y'all how to get down in Cuba when you're visiting, especially if you're staying in Central. Um, all the men in Central that you meet on the streets are always going to have chicas. Okay,
Hmm.
of course, you know where I'm going with this, Ace. Chicas or chicas. It's a woman, like like of a legal age. And they're going to ask you, like, do you want to be accompanied by one? Like, like me perfectly, I don't do that. I have
Yeah, it's just
friends in
not
Cuba.
my.
I don't need to do it. I have my own mouth. I can speak some Spanish. And I'm good. Um, be careful with that. Always check identification. There's a lot of young girls walking around, especially in Central, being grown, how our parents used to say, being grown.
Exactly.
And these guys will go snatch them. And what happens is this, I'm going to give y'all the game. So realistically, this girl in her mind only wants this amount, right? Well,
Hmm.
let's say this amount. right? Let's say this amount. Now, once you talk to that gentleman and he goes and retrieves that girl for you, it's gonna be some real fast Espanol coming out, some real fast Spanish speaking. And that girl went from I want this much to I'm gonna ask you for this much because he told me to accompany. So be careful with that, fellas.
Yeah, and he's going to take a big cut of it. Like, listen,
Yeah,
again, you and I
gonna
are in the
take.
same boat. I don't deal with stuff like that. You know, there's a
Mhm,
certain way I move, and there's a lifestyle that I live, and there's a lifestyle that I just do not live.
mhm.
I think God's blessed me with having a daughter, so there's just certain things I just cannot do.
Don't
You know,
do
more,
right,
yeah, I
of
just
course,
do
of
not
course.
do. You
But
know,
this is for the fellas who's
yeah,
you
this is for the
know
fellas that do.
helping out
Now,
there. You know what I'm
what's
saying?
weird about it is this, and I don't know if you've seen this, where you'll see a gentleman walking with a young lady, and you're thinking they're a couple together, and you just happen to
Mhm,
look at him, you happen to look at her, and then he's like, "Oh, you like?" And I'm like, "Dude, you were just holding her hand." Like, "No, I'm good, sir. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, gracias." Da, 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 da. But in my brain, I'm
right.
like, I was just walking, holding hands, and now you over here orphan. I was like, that was wild to me,
Mhm.
wild to
Yeah.
me. But
Yep. And
it's
yeah,
accepted by certain individuals. And listen, I'm not here to
but I
judge.
got an right. But I got
I'm just
another
here
one
to say
for you.
what's not for me.
You're like, okay, I have this particular male friend in Havana. He's from Central, right? I'm not gonna say names. Um,
Hmm.
but he's actually offered me his girlfriend, the girl he's with. He's actually offered me, hey, let me know if you want me to send my girl to you tonight. Bro,
Dude,
what are you talking about, bro? Like,
I can tell you a
okay.
story of
Okay.
that happened to one of my boys. It happened to one of my boys. Exact same situation.
Right.
And he was like, he's a dog. He's like, all right. He's like, all
Yeah,
right, son. And I guess he knocked it out the park and she fell in love. And when I say it was a problem, and that's why I say
I
I
can
don't
see
get
that.
involved in certain things. I go there for
Yeah,
recording, I go there for fun, I go there for music, I go there for dancing, I go there and create my YouTube content. I try my best not to get involved in certain things because it gets messy. And
hmm
it's just a certain lifestyle I just don't want to live, you know.
Their lifestyle to us, we look at it like, oh my God, but to them, it's survival. It's the way of life.
And it's not
It's the
just
way of
there.
life.
You go over to other countries, I've
Yeah,
seen the same
yeah.
thing in other countries. You know,
I've
I've
seen it.
been to other.
Okay, like point in case, like Cartagena, Colombia,
Yep,
um,
yep.
in Sunset Palmetto. I'm coming out of my condo. I'm going down the elevator, so I get out the elevator, and of course, that's the lounging area. That's for either guests and or visitors. And I noticed this guy with a nice looking young lady with him, and they're holding hands coming in, and I'm coming back from the store now, and I see she's gone upstairs. He's still sitting there. So me and my buddy that also lives there is like, hey, um, yeah, man, such and such, bro. Look at this picture. Like, you seen her and stuff. She was over here the other day, and I'm like, but I thought she was with. Never mind. So it happens there too. It's the same
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
I just like I say to myself, bro, be thankful for being from the United States, bro. Like we
Exactly,
don't have to really endure that. You know what I'm saying? But we have some of
exactly.
that going on here. Probably it's scarce, but it probably happens here, but not like
Dude,
that
I think
though.
yeah, people
Yeah,
sell the box all the time here. It's just
yeah,
gone
yeah,
about
yeah.
different. It's just
Mhm.
that it's paid through Cash App and stuff like that, you
Right,
know.
Zell.
But
Yeah.
it is different. Listen, when I was doing my volunteer work in Haiti, that's when I
hmm
realized how grateful I need to be. You know, when we were working, when I was out there after Hurricane Matthew, and I saw where the land that people had their place on is no longer there. Like, so
hmm
they can't even rebuild because it literally fell into the water, that land. It's crazy. So even when you go there, you're gonna find, people trade in different ways on necessity. It's not on Now here's my only caveat to that. Sometimes it's not always necessity. Yes, there's stuff that's needed, and that's the world's first job.
Mm,
However, it's also because it's been easy, is easy and it's fast money for certain individuals. Because
mm,
remember, Cuba has doctors, Cuba has lawyers, Cuba has these things, but sometimes it's quicker to make the money this way than another way. And that's what it is too, because there are other industries there. Like, remember Angel, the guy that dropped me off, the taxi driver. He's a taxi driver, but he's also an engineer. He ran
mm,
plants and factories and stuff like that. See, so, and
yes.
with education
Mm,
being free, I found most individuals that go into that lifestyle of trading their body for money are people that
highly
normally didn't take
educated.
education. Some of them are highly educated, but some of them
Well,
didn't take education seriously. So that's all they have.
no, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna tell you why. See, like I've been out there more than well, I've been out there more than everybody we deal with.
Correct.
As far as the champs. I've been with two doctors, right,
Hmm.
in Cuba. I've been with at least two school teachers and a couple other ones with degrees of miscellaneous things there, and they may not be walking on San Rafael Boulevard and all that, but they're not turning down the dollar. They're not. Like literally, like when I say this girl was not a regular doctor, she was literally a brain surgeon. Literally. I'm like,
That's
you're
what's
like
wild
in
too,
the
because
world.
you'll find people that are doctors or lawyers or engineers, and like I told you about Angel, who's tremendously talented and tremendously bright. They're doing
Mhm,
other jobs on the side, like taxi driving, or you ever ran into the bartender that's also a doctor during the day?
mhm,
Like,
yeah,
or one of my, or this young lady I know over there, she's a veterinarian during the day,
mhm.
and she does hair on the side,
My ex
and that's
mom
how she makes
mom is
it.
a veterinarian. Yeah, my ex's mom is a veterinarian. Yep,
It's wild.
it's
She's a
wild.
veterinarian,
It's different.
but she does hair, and she's trying to become a loctician, but she does braids, but she's working on locks right now. And I'm like,
Mm,
wow. Usually here, when you find here that someone's a doctor and they're outside their residency, they're set for life for the most part, unless they're doing that Doctors Without Borders of volunteer work. But you're working at NYU or you're working at Methodist or Beth Israel. This person's getting two, three hundred
right.
thousand dollars a year. You're pretty set. But over
Yeah,
there, you'll find a person
400,000.
that's a doctor during the day. Yeah, they're
Mate,
a doctor during the day and a
my
bartender at night.
ex, my ex there. 'Cause I was actually with this doctor for a while, about a year. My ex there, like it was confirmed by one of her colleagues that she didn't even know was her colleague that was actually my Airbnb host. So I know it was the truth. Made about
Hmm.
$24 a month, and she had to do side work as a doctor to make more. So, okay, that's another thing about Cuba. The base income for a government worker out there is about $20, $30 a month. But
I thought it
they
was a
got
little
way
higher. I
more.
thought I thought it
Right.
was
Well, I'm
oh
saying that's what
yeah.
I'm getting to. They do work having to like they do side work having to do with that to like supplement their income. Just like a policeman
Hmm.
here will do side gigs as security at the club.
Hmm.
So I think Cuba just wants you to think, oh, it's so horrible. But I think the average Cuban walks around with a couple $100 in their pockets, to be honest, bro. I do.
You think
Like I'm
so?
convinced. I'm convinced. Bro, I'm convinced.
I mean, that's where I'll
Bro, I'm convinced
respectfully
because
diverge.
I'm looking at what me and you do there and what we spend, right? These are in the same area. We eat at some of the same places they eat at. Not all of them, but most of them eat at the same places me and you eat at. Think about it. Just add that up. Okay, the mojito might only be $2. The dinner might only be three. That's five. But if you're doing that like a few
Okay,
times a week, I mean,
I think I
I
get what you're
believe
saying. You're
all of
saying
them
after their side hustles, then they're
and all that.
making.
They're walking.
Okay,
I think
okay.
the
I thought you
average
meant
Cuban,
naturally their average paycheck is a
No,
couple
no, no,
hundred
no,
dollars.
no.
No,
Like I
yeah,
think
well,
after
yeah,
hustling and everything, I think the average got $100, $200. Sitting around. Like it's not what, bro. Nobody's there surviving off of $20. Nobody.
yeah. No one surviving off of that, and
No,
not just that,
I
just
can
how
build that.
the rental market's
It's
gone up
easy.
here. The rental
Yeah,
market in Cuba is crazy now. Like an
one
apartment
twenty
there that you
five
used
a
to.
month, 200 a month for the locals now.
That's
Yeah,
when they it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Think about it, in that same
right.
apartment back when we first went there was maybe $25 to $50 a month. Now it's a buck
Mm-hmm.
25, buck 50. And I don't know if you've seen the places that's like a buck 50 a month. It's
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of
Not
loving
like
of
that.
that place needs to be. Like it's rough.
Yeah. I heard something like that. I've been in a couple of Cuban homes, but they're actually nice, decent, decent as hell, actually. Um, but yeah, man, it's not what people think about Cuba. You have to have feet on ground there to really know what it is in Cuba. So people that listen to the news, it's not that. But I can say this now: me and you are only talking about Havana, Cuba. We're not talking about outside, y'all. Outside of like Havana and being in Montanza and Santiago, those other places, those smaller provinces, like your Las
Yeah.
Tunas, or like your Camagüey's,
Or even if
um,
you go to La Teresa or if you go to
right?
Vinales,
They
it's
don't
a
have
total
any. Like, I think the average they're getting is 2 to 4 hours. No, about 4 hours a day of electricity is what the average
exactly.
Cuban gets. So we're talking about Cuba has its struggles outside of Havana in Montana in Santiago. And even Santiago is now they're only on like 8 hours a day, I believe. Yeah. So when I was in
Well,
Santiago,
look at
like we
like
was getting at
Matanza.
least 20.
Matanza is only
Montana's is
getting like
good.
4 hours.
No,
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 one
no.
of my
Like
friends
Montana's is good.
only getting like 4 hours.
Like Veradero, like a Montana's, there. Well, it depends on where you at, just like Havana. But in the
Yes, all
touristy
right, I
spots
agree
like
with you there.
Veradero, they're getting 18 plus hours. Like I know that our electricity didn't go out last time. Me and my cousin went. Our electricity stayed on the whole time, the whole
Okay.
time, straight up. But now, man, Cuba is a situation by far. Like it is a situation. As far as what you hear in the news, it, they're only like 10% accurate. I mean, it has to be feet on
Okay.
ground. Do Cubans struggle? Yes, like everybody struggles. Even Americans do. Um, in Havana, I think it's more so of a greed thing, trying to be like their fellow Miamians because they're eating, they're surviving in Havana. I have never met a female in Havana that didn't have her nails and hair done. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? They're surviving. Now the other areas, I mean, I get it. That's who we need to be more concerned about. That's what we need to be more concerned about
Yeah,
because
like listen, once you get out
now,
to like Vinales, La Teresa, it gets rough.
yes,
Don't get me wrong. They have nice houses out in, or nice small
very
homes out
nice.
of Vinales.
In Pin-
I
in
think
Pin-
people need to come to Cuba, but not stay just in Havana. They gotta travel to the outside area. Go to
mhm,
Vinales. Go to the mountains there. Go on a horseback riding. I
mhm.
think there's people that's going to travel for the box, and there's people like me and you that's going to travel for the experience.
For the culture,
And
right?
yeah, and for the culture. Like when you go out to Vinales, you can breathe deep. You're out in the tobacco fields, even though I don't smoke. Or you're in the place where they're fermenting the tobacco leaves. There's just a
Right.
smell, and then when you're eating outside on your veranda, eating dinner, it's just a different feel. And
Like it
I
makes.
think, yeah, I
Mhm,
think people need to. Yes, you come to Havana, you come to Cuba, you go to the local clubs and stuff like that. But to see real Cuba, to experience real Cuba, you got to get outside of Havana. It's going to be challenging now because of the whole thing with the fuel, but you got to get outside of Havana. That's just something you
mhm.
have to do to really see Cuba. Like I don't know if you've ever been to Trinidad, Cuba. Trinidad, Cuba is the beaches there
Gorgeous.
are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing, beautiful, clean, blue, crystal clear. You have the huts on a beach where you go order food. And when I'm saying you order food, you're catching fish that was literally probably just caught 2 3 hours ago. You're eating
Yeah,
fish that was caught like 2 3 hours ago. You're eating lobster that was caught like 2 3 hours ago. You
correct.
know, there's so much more than just Central Havana. There's so much
Mm-hmm.
more to Cuba. There's so much more culture. There's so much more things to see, things to do. I mean, Cuba has an alligator farm. A lot of people don't realize that. Cuba has an
I
alligator
didn't
farm,
know that.
and they eat alligator meat there. He said they have an alligator
I've been looking
farm.
for that. Man, so I love alligator meat. I wish I would have knew that. I would have asked where is
Dude,
that.
we should take the trip down. Well, if they hopefully cure the situation with the gas, we should take a
Yeah.
trip down there. You can catch the alligator, they'll kill it for
What
you.
is
I
it?
mean, when I say catch,
2 hours
yeah, about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
to Trinidad. Okay.
Yep. But no, the alligator farm is no to Trinidad. No. Trinidad is
Mm.
about a 4 hour drive, 4.5 hour
Because
drive. I'm
it's
not gonna
south,
lie.
right? It's south. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
south.
going south. It's going south. It's going towards is you go to Cienfuego, you either go to Cienfuego and then go to
Fuego.
Trinidad, or you go to Santa Clara and then go down to Trinidad. Cienfuego is
Mm-hmm.
even nice. It's a port town, but it's nice. The architecture, the
Mm.
buildings. Trinidad is one of the cities that kept their colonial architecture, so the streets are still cobblestone.
Oh
The
wow.
the the, the buildings are the architecturally they're beautiful. Um, yeah, they have a club there that's built inside of a cave. The walls of the club are the cave. I mean, it's just something different. And
Mm.
I think
Mm.
people could get caught up in Havana, Havana, Havana. And right now, because of the whole thing with the gas, I get it. It's hard to go anywhere else. But once that situation
Mm-hmm.
is changed and cured, there's so much more of Cuba to see and to
Yeah,
appreciate.
it
Like,
is. Like
listen, I'm a
you.
pork eater.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know what it is to be in Trinidad, Cuba. They just killed the pig, and I got some pork chops on my plate that they grilled on a barbecue grill. Dude, dude,
Go down.
all
Go
you needed
down.
was salt and pepper. All you needed was salt and pepper. That's the real organic, not the stuff, the
Yep.
organic that they sell you here in the US. That's the
Yes,
real
but the real
organic.
deal, real salt, real pepper.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. But I appreciate Cuba, man. It's been cool. I haven't had that many messed up situations in Cuba, and nobody's ever stolen from me. That I know of. I mean, I leave money out all the time. I do it intentionally, actually. Um, the vibe time's been great there, man. Like no animosity, no fights, like what I'm saying, no fights. Heard of a lot of other guys going through situations.
Yeah, I've heard of, we had a friend unfortunately went through a
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Yes, I've had stuff unfortunately stolen from me, or let me not say stolen from me. I blame myself. I was a bit too trusting, and I would give somebody money to change money for me. And in Cuba, it depends on what's available. So if $1,000 bills, and if you haven't noticed the other day, they put two additional denominations out of money because let's say you go to change your money and the person has thousands, then it's easy. It's easy to count to make sure the person's not jipping you. So let's say you take
mm.
$500 there, you change it, they're going to give it to you in thousands. It's easier to count it. But I've been in Cuba before where I've
I
changed money
always
and
ask
they
for
only had,
thousands.
and that's if they have it. That's if the money changer has it. I've been in situations
My
where the
guy
money
knows
changer,
already. Like I call Jose. Well, I say his name, Jose. Like I call him ahead of time. Hey, bro, what's the rate? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of know, what it is the next day or whatever. So I'm calling him ahead of time, like the day before I get to Cuba. So I like all 1,000s, Poppy. Appreciate it. I'm gonna bring 500 of that. Appreciate it. And it's sometimes I take the 500. Sometimes it is just dire. But yeah, I'm getting my 1,000, bro. Like they don't play with me.
dude,
But
I've been in a
because it's too
situation
easy to
where,
get down on you with the small bills because they know how we are as Americans. We whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's too much
exactly.
to count.
And that's how I got caught
Yeah.
once. That's exact because
But I heard
they
they
only
have
had
new currency
$200.
notes now. Like they say they have some
Yep,
two
they have two
thousands
new
out
ones.
now.
I think it's a
Oh,
two and a 5,000. I think it's a two and a five
oh,
thousand note out.
even better. Look
Yeah,
at
I think it's.
that.
I could be wrong. I think it's a two and a five. But I was out there once where they only had $200 notes,
You're like, keep talking. Let me
So
get something to drink. Go ahead. I can hear
yeah,
you.
so when they changed my money, it was literally a table full of money. Literally a table full of money. How do you count
Mm,
that? And then later I
yep.
found out that, the person that I had changed, he was skimming a little bit off the top, which to me is disgusting. But this is why you also cut people off. When you learn stuff like that, you cut
Mm,
people off. They get cut off. They have zero access to you. Don't call me, oh, Mike, you got to understand what happened. No, you have zero, zero, zero access to
access.
me after that.
Yep.
Especially when
Yep.
you've been a good person. You haven't taken advantage of people, stuff like that. So I've had people. I don't want to say I've had people steal from me. Well, there's one situation that you know of,
Hmm.
but I've had people take advantage of my lack of knowledge. And
Well,
now that I'm more of a veteran, I'm like, oh, okay.
right. See, that's why I always slow motion with Cuba. Like I played it more safe than sorry. Okay. Like I said, I started out like 2017. That was solo trip. Um, I was in right on the edge of Vedado, I believe. But a real nice area in Vedado. Um, I had good people around me. You can tell there was people that had money out there.
Hmm.
And I always played it slow. Like I learned it. Like I didn't rush, rush into the. I didn't rush straight into the central scene. I mean, you got to know now. I'm just going to VS for the first time, my 29th trip. So that tells you, oh, like he was playing it safe. All that walking through Central late, talking to this and that person. I've never been like that. You know what I'm saying? I got two or three good friends from Central. Like they all get money for the most part. They don't really have a reason to try to get down on me. And that's how I kept it. You keep good people around you out there, then you're good. But you keep beggars around you and shysters and the chicas, then you got it coming. And like, Central is kind of the hood, bro. Like you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's how I
And
always played it.
and they've always tried to find ways of pulling. Oh, can we get this? Oh, can we get that? Oh, can we get that? And it's like, and before you know it, you're paying for this. Or you ever been in a situation where, oh, let's go out to this place. And when you get out to this place, you realize you're the only one paying for the whole table. You're like,
Yeah.
God damn it, you caught me.
Y'all,
I'm
y'all
thinking,
check it out, y'all. If you have a Cuban buddy, like male or female, let's say it's a female that you're not involved with sexually, just a friend, you're going to have to foot the bill every time. They're not
every
going to pull
time,
their money out. They're going to tell you they ain't got no
every
money
time,
every time.
every
And
time.
so
And some of it is
your
true. They might not
trip,
have money. Yeah,
well,
anytime you go out with somebody is at
most of it
your
is like
cost.
it's usually a lie because it's usually a lie. They just, the places we go to, they don't believe in like paying those prices for the same day they can get for half the price up the street. So they'll let
Yeah,
us
all
do
right,
it.
I'll agree with you
Mm.
there. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the pork and the rice with the plantains or whatever they give us. Um, okay, we pay 12, 1,500 pesos for it. They know what to get for 400 pesos, 500 pesos. Okay, I get it. So we got to foot the bill. But yeah, so y'all, your trip to Cuba can double in cost if you have a Cuban friend that you want around, with you. It always happens to me because my homie with me from Central, I don't like to feel bad. Hey, all right, bro, come on, bro. You want salvation? Go and order you some food, bro. You good? Because that's what kind of person I am. I ain't, I'm not hurting, but yeah.
But dude, I was out at a
So,
bar once and we were out with some friends. And one of the guys was like, hey, can you get me a drink? You mind if I get it, or you mind if I get a drink? And I'm like, yo, that's fine. All right. Not a problem. I'll pay
it's
for
a
it. Not a
random
big
dude
deal.
or like somebody you know
No, no,
or
no.
random.
No, someone that was out with us. And, I'm thinking, all right, he probably want a shot of rum or he probably want, I don't know what drink he had, but it was damn near almost like 3,000 pesos, something like
Six
that. Three
dollars.
or four
Whoa.
thousand. No, three.
Y'all
Yeah,
like y'all don't
3,000 pesos.
know. If y'all don't know, it's like $6 for a drink in Cuba is extremely expensive. It should be no more than two or
Yeah.
three dollars. Yeah.
See, so I'm like, what did you order? But by that time, it was already ordered. And listen, no one. I'm not hurting over $6. All right, so I'm not coming off cheap, but it's the principle of like, yo, my dude. You wouldn't order this normally. You wouldn't order this normally. So, like, yo, what are you like? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now? And that's what bothered me. I think I was out with some friends at La Fabrica one year. I was there, and one of my dudes had a young lady with him, and I told him straight up, I was like, "Yo, my dude, be mindful because at
Mm,
La Fabrica they don't charge you right up. They put the number, they put all the stuff on your little ticket, and you pay to get out."
out, of course.
And yeah,
Yes.
and I was like, "Yo,
They stamp it.
listen, I make sure I have my thing. I'm dolo, even though I'm with him, I'm dolo. He has a young lady that's with him, and you know what happened, dude? She ran up a bill
Ran it up.
so high that even while we were there, they were looking for him. They was like, listen, they put a security guard on her. She
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere else until that tab was paid, and they started a
Hmm.
new card for her. And I was like,
She was
I
running it
told
up.
you, dude.
She went
Bro,
to
I
every area getting
told
two to
you.
three drinks.
And
She
then
went
I
to
think
every
she ended up
area.
getting drinks for other people. I don't know, but because you never know. And I was like, yo, my dude, you want to be mindful of this. Like, you try to put people onto game. Like, dude, that's why, I move a certain way. I'm dolo there. I'm not surrounded by, at least anymore, about around a
Yeah.
whole bunch of people, or I'm surrounded by you guys,
Right.
but I'm not out there doing feed the children, you know. I'm
Right.
not out
Yeah, I
there doing
get it.
feed the children.
So,
So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
so club VS, y'all. VS will absolutely put you in Colombia in Cuba. Like that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um, I didn't know, bro. I did not know how VS was until I met you that time. My trip to Cuba a few weeks. I did not know because I had never poured. I always go to like Kingboard, LM, a little bit more upscale, like other side of town. And I did not know, but they have those Colombian personalities going on, and they're like, you know what I mean? They give you that stare,
dude.
and I'm like, oh, hold on, where am I at? Oh, this is I thought I was in Cartagena
Yeah,
or like Paqueteles. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, VS, y'all. F it, I'm gonna talk about the box. From what I've
dude.
heard,
VS is great for the music and the vibe.
it's great music, and you can
It's
pay the
great for
DJ.
them, and that's why I go. The music, the vibe. But,
Yeah,
dude, like again, I'm not a sex tourist type dude. That's just not my thing.
right. Well, I want
But
to talk about it because the fellas need to know.
yeah,
So,
it's like a meat
like, I'm the
market there.
same way. Like, I'm the same way. Like, I don't go there for that kind of tourism.
Yeah, that's just not my thing.
Because
You know.
I'm a pre gamer, so I got something consistent. You got to cook and clean for me. Um, all right,
But it's like,
going, yeah. Like I
dude,
want to talk
it's,
about the
it's,
price.
it's at
Let
the
me talk
levels
about the price. I want to
uncomfortable.
talk about the price. I want to talk about the price. I want to
Well,
talk
you can
about the
talk about the price. I'm not certain,
okay,
but it'll be
okay,
like, hey, pa. I'm like, ma, no, no, thank you, I'm good. Hey, come on, no, ma, I'm good. And at
yeah,
some point, it gets to
yeah,
get uncomfortable. Like, I just came here with my boys. We're enjoying the
right,
drink. We're enjoying the music. I'm dancing by
okay,
myself because I can't even dance that well. So I'm dancing by myself,
hmm,
but it's just like, ma, chill. And I'm telling you, you could feel like you're a GQ model, knowing that you're not. I'm not a GQ model. So, listen,
and it takes. And let's talk about um the the being genuine. Y'all, they're not genuine. Um, so how do they say? It's for everybody, bro. Um, like protect your heart. Like I said at the beginning of the video, protect your heart. They're not genuine. Like it's all about the dollar or the euro. You know what I mean? That's what it is. They're not genuine. They
yeah, well,
will
listen,
lead
women
you
of
up.
the night are going to be women of the night. And that's
Of
just
course.
what it is. I do think you
Mhm.
probably could find some genuineness out there, but women of
Of
the night is
course.
going to be women of the night. And If that's what you're going there for, your intentions for, just make sure you keep at the front of your mind that this is what it is. Again, I don't encourage people to go for sex tourism.
Mm,
Listen, if you're a single guy and you meet something, you want to toss some sheets, toss some sheets. But if you got someone that's speaking for you at home, make sure you stand on your square. But and when you go to VS, it will be challenging for you if you don't have that level of moral. It's going to be challenging, and you're going to have. It's just like you said, what I've
mm,
seen in videos of Colombia. People are going to stare at you, and they're going to look at the back of your eye. And if you're not ready, if you're not equipped, and if you're one of the single guys and you just want to go out and have a great time, that place is really good for you. 212 is really good for you. Um, there's a couple of strips right there on the boulevard. That's fine. But if you just also want to go to a place and hear some music and dance and vibe and chill, I'm telling you right now, VS is good. Casa de Musica, the one in
mm,
Miramar is better than the one right there up on
yeah.
Galliano. The one in
Mm,
Miramar is better than the one in Galliano, but you're gonna get some really good quality things. Swing Bar is good because certain nights, along with the DJ, they have a live band, so
mm,
you don't just hear the music, you feel the music.
mm,
So there's gonna be something there. And then there's the people forget that the African aspect of it. So you'll also run into places where they have that Afro-Cuban music. That Afro-Cuban music is on another level. Dude, I was at this one place, I swore, and I don't know if I could say this on YouTube. I swear this white lady got the Holy Ghost. She was listening to some African Cuban music, and we got some
mm.
rhythm. His white
Right.
lady, I think she got the Holy Ghost.
She was killing it.
I don't. She wasn't killing it, but she was moving.
Huh?
You understand what I'm saying? She was killing
But
it,
she
but she
was
was
fine.
moving. So
She was fine.
it was one of those things. It was definitely one of
Yeah.
those things. So
Yeah.
there's a lot out there. There's a lot. I was at this one place out there. It was Afrobeat night. And you're
Mm-hmm.
like Afrobeat in Cuba, yo, it was on, and you see people come out dressed in Afrobeats type style, and it was just like, wow.
Different
And
vibes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. It's open air. You're on a rooftop bar. You're open air. It's like, yo, this is cool. This is different. And for me, capturing that content is
Mm-hmm.
is awesome. Like, but I tell you, if you're a single guy that's just going there to get your rocks off, you're
Mm.
gonna go to Cuba and you're gonna have a blast of a time.
Yeah. So from what I
It's
was told, what I was told about the box, fella, pricing wise, from what I was told, um, you kind of want to you feet on ground. Yeah, it's not what
I'm
it's
laughing
about
because you laugh.
25. It's about 25% of what you would usually pay in other Latin countries, put it that way, or less. Like I give you that much. I give you that much. I give you
Listen,
that
I'll
much.
take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. I've
Yeah,
heard
but I'm
stuff
talking
from
to
other
the
guys.
fellas like they need to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I listen.
but you heard
I
something
listen.
similar. But you
I'm a
heard something
straight
similar.
dude. My lady right over there.
Yeah,
But I'm not stupid. I'm not blind or
yeah,
anything like that. But guys, like I told him, like I want to agree with you. And it's going to be crazy.
yeah,
Um, but there's so yeah. See, so yeah, guys go out there and have fun. I just encourage people to don't go out there and be stupid because you will learn quick.
yeah. Y'all,
You
so
will learn
like, check it
quick.
out. You're gonna catch a very peaceful vibe when you get there. You're not gonna feel the danger like you would in the Medellin, like outside of Porcateas or in Cartagena, outside of Wall City, or Central Cartagena, um, or in some portions of Santo Domingo. You're not going to feel the danger. You see what I'm saying? But the danger is still there.
Hmm.
Don't slip up. They're still hurting. You're still around people who what they call with it. So don't go out there thinking you a guy. Don't think you better than nobody. Don't act like it because they will get with you very quick. And just know how to move around. Treat it
And
how you would
also
treat other Latin
remember,
countries.
exactly, or but also treat people how you want to be treated. Also remember, God forbid you do something wrong to somebody out there. People out there is going to identify with the person that you did wrong to before they identify with you.
Right.
You know, I've seen things. Remember before they canceled the flights, there were a lot of Canadians out there, or a lot of Russians out there. I've seen stuff, and the locals are going to identify with the person that's being oppressed or the person that's being mistreated over that
Hmm.
tourist when it comes down to it. And
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff. I've seen some stuff, and some people bring it on themselves. They get drunk, they don't know how to act.
Hmm.
And listen, at the end of the day, these are people too, and they need to be respected and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I think
Absolutely.
that, but there's a lot of places like, listen, I don't think I had a chance to take you there, but there's this place called Aleman Bar, which is translates to German bar. That place was
Hmm.
awesome. The music there was awesome. I was there with
Yeah.
some friends
Somebody
once, and we
told me
came
about
in
that
wearing,
place. Yeah.
yeah, we came in wearing a Yankees hat. The DJ had them deliver the wireless mic to us for like, we had it for like 40 minutes giving shout outs. Yo, dude, they were playing Biggie, they were playing Tupac, they were playing Mace. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
what?
let's make sure we go there. Let's go do that. Let's go do that when we link back up. Let's go over there. Let's go do that.
Yeah, it,
I
it, it
think
was a good vibe. You could buy the beer by the not even a pitcher, like by the darn near gallon,
about a
and it comes
keg.
with the, yeah, by the K. So
Mm,
and then you're like, and it's so cheap when you buy by that. So at some point, you're telling people at other tables like, "Yo, come on, have some," because you can't drink all of this. You just can't drink all that beer. It's stupid.
yeah, exactly.
Ran into some people from Texas there. Ran into some
Mm,
guys from Texas that was out there. So that was pretty. Some brothers
down
too.
south.
Some brothers.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, man, Cuba's a vibe, man. I love Cuba, man. It's a vibe. It's just, I OD'd Cuba a long time ago. I said I'm on number 20 now. When I go back, I'll be on 30, you know. But like I said, I'll be going to other countries soon. I'm heading out to Paraguay. We're gonna do Monaco, what I'm saying, stuff like that. So got some
yeah,
stuff
I'm
coming
looking
up,
forward to
man.
head over to West Africa again sometime later this year.
Ghana,
Um,
Ghana.
yeah, Ghana. Ghana's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
Ghana. Ghana's beautiful. I
I
miss
got some
it.
friends from there. I got some people to work for me from there. And Togo. I want to
The
try Togo.
food, the food. Yeah, I want to go to Togo. I want to
Who
go to
got the
Lomé.
who got the best rice? Who got the best jollof rice?
Oh, Ghanaian has the best rice. Ghana people have the best rice.
Ghana had the
I know
best
my
rice.
friends that are Nigerian are going to beat me up, but Ghana has the best
That's right.
jollof.
Gotcha.
Ghana has the
Bro,
best jollof.
tell me how you feel about the food in Cuba. And like be honest, bro. Don't lie. Tell me how you feel about the food in Cuba. Let me grab something to drink.
Now, hold on one second. Back.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Hold on. No, no, no. Hold on
So
one second. Hold on one second. Real quick. We're having a debate on who has the best jollof. This is recorded, by the way, but you're not being recorded. I'm saying Ghana has the best jollof. You're not being recorded, though, okay? She's shaking her head. She's shaking her head. Shaking her head. The right. All right. The food in Cuba. The food in Cuba. It depends. Now, listen. You and I are veterans. Okay. You and I are
right.
veterans, right?
Right.
So I eat where the locals eat. All right. I made the mistake of eating where the American restaurants and paying out my ass for money. For
Mm,
if you go to an American restaurant, and listen, it's not a lot of money to drop $50 on the dinner, but in Cuba, that's a ton of money. You're
hmm.
basically paying almost two people's salary on one meal. So
Yeah,
now
you
I eat
are.
where the locals eat. Like that place I took you, One Piece, that is one of my most favorite places. The only
Food's
thing
good
is
too.
this: the
Just
food
hope the
was good. The
flies,
black
the
rice,
flies.
yeah, the flies. But I think that's because of the garbage. I think, unfortunately, because of the
Hey,
lack of gas, there's no garbage.
bring me some of that hot sauce when you come back. Thanks.
So I was about to say that. I was about to say that. Cubans don't like spicy food. So,
No, no picante.
me being a black person, I had to travel with my own hot sauce. And I'm not talking about
Yeah.
Tabasco sauce. We had that Mexican Chipotle real, and then I had some Scotch bonnet crushed peppers sauce also. I
I
like
gotta
spicy
have it.
food. Gotta
Yeah, me
have it.
too.
I
Me too.
love spicy food. Like, that was one of the best things when it was in Ghana. Oh my gosh, the spicy food is
Go
amazing.
crazy.
Can
Go
go crazy.
crazy.
But out there, the food's different. Like, you'll get a pizza out there, and
Hmm.
the small pan pizzas, they don't even call pizza, they call it tacos. But the pizza
Hmm.
out there, there's two versions. There's the sweet, which has a naturally sweet tomato sauce, and they have one
Hmm.
that has a sour. And it's not that the tomato sauce
You
is
was telling me
rancid.
that. Right.
Dude, I don't mess with that sour stuff. It's just not my thing. Give me the sweet
Hmm.
sauce all the time. The other thing is this: we're used to pizza that has a crispy dough. That's not it. It's
Yeah.
bread like, all right,
Soft. Soft.
soft. And then we're used to mozzarella cheese.
Hmm.
They use Gouda. All
Gouda.
right,
I
see,
noticed that.
yeah, they use Gouda. So when you go out
And
there
it's
and
crazy
you,
because Gouda here is expensive and mozzarella is
dude,
cheap.
it is, yeah, it's everywhere there, everywhere there,
Yeah.
even with the spaghetti. So when they make spaghetti, they damn near grate a whole block of Gouda on your spaghetti because I guess it takes the place for Parmesan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my ignorant ass self, all right?
Right.
Ignorant, ignorant as all. I like the pizza out there, but I want a little bit of the American fling. So I don't know if you saw it, where I bought my own pepperonis and I bought my own
I
toppings
think,
out
yeah,
there.
like I was trying to get my cousin to bring me some, man. I was like, all right.
Yo, dude, and I paid them to put the toppings on and cook my pizza. Oh my god, I had dry aged chorizo, spicy chorizo. I was like, yo guys, can y'all put this on my pizza? They're like, hey, you pay for it, we don't care. you know,
Yeah.
that changed the game. Like, I always fly my own pepperonis now because what they call pepperonis over there and what we call pepperonis,
It's
two different
not.
things. It's
It's
not what
like
they call
one,
chorizo.
it's one, it's only one actual restaurant I've been to there that had real pepperonis, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I fly with my own
One.
pepperonis. I
And
fly
of
with my
course, there was
own.
Vedado.
Well, Vadado, of course, is Vadado, Miramar, Siboney. That's where you're going to run into
Yeah.
those places like
Yeah.
that. Or if you go out
Exactly.
to Varadero, but that's like 2 hours another direction.
Right. So y'all, to explain those areas to y'all, so some parts of Vedado, um, all of Miramar, some parts of Playa, or your more upscale areas. Miramar has actual estates in it, large 4, 5, 6 bedroom homes with elevators. So you go look back at some of my
Yes,
videos, you will see my home in Miramar had a cargo elevator. I mean, the person can
dude.
get
Or
in
what
it
about
too,
the
but
place in Siboney that had a disco built into the house?
yeah. Hmm.
Because you can't be loud after a certain time. So they built
Hmm.
a soundproof disco in the house.
Correct. Correct. I need a haircut.
That's
Yeah.
that's great.
So,
Yeah, I need one too, bro. I need a
yeah, yeah,
haircut
I'm
too.
all great, y'all. But
Oh man.
yeah, man, most definitely, man. But Cuba in a whole, I like it. Um, you're gonna get what you're gonna get in Cuba. They're not gonna be truthful with a gringo because it's a survival
No.
tactic. Don't be mad
And you
at them
can't
if they
take it
don't
so
survive.
personal. You
You can't.
can't take it so personal. Now, the only time you can take it personal is when you feel like you made a connection with someone over time, 2, 3 years, and
Mhm.
now you're like, yo, really? But someone that you just met, they have no allegiance to you. They have no
No.
allegiance to you. All they're seeing you is as a lick. They're trying to get as much out of you in a short amount of time, whether it be through a donation, whether it be through selling you something you don't want, or unfortunately selling their body. And you know, that's how it is. See, so
Mm.
sometimes it's just like, you can't take it personal. Every woman there says they don't have a boyfriend. No, I don't have a boyfriend, but everyone has a kid. So obviously you had a boyfriend at some point. You
Right.
know what I mean? But
Right.
you'll find, because I've seen it. I've seen it where, I don't even know if I can share this. One of my boys met somebody, and two consenting adults. They
Hmm.
had some fun.
Right.
I want to say 2 days later, we saw her walking with a dude pushing a
Yeah.
stroller, holding hand, and
Of
I'm just
course.
like,
Of course, it happens like that.
wow,
They have a
wow.
lot of
I'm like,
married joints out there too. They have a lot of married women out there,
dude,
and most of them. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Most Cuban girls you meet in Cuba have a boyfriend. Okay, don't get it screwed up. They have
exactly.
local. They have local love, but they need it. They have to have that emotional contact with somebody, like that emotional attachment, because we're not
So if
always
you're
there.
sending money back, thinking like you're taking care of her rent or you're taking care of her son, you're
Man,
taking care of that for her and her boyfriend.
and her
All right.
boyfriend. I mean, like, you
He
just got
just
it. Like, you
knows.
care, do it. But I mean,
He
it's a
just knows
dude
when
in
you come
Cuba,
in, not to be there. That's what it
right?
is. He
Because
knows
that's
when
his
you come into
money.
the
That's
country,
his money.
not to be there.
I mean, you got to think
Say,
about it. If your income, like, if you're only pulling in about 150 a month, and a gringo's coming in that's going to spend two times, three times that with your girl. I mean, here in the United States, that would be equivalent to somebody dropping 5, 6 thousand like on your girl in a month. Most dudes gonna leave the house and say, "Go ahead." You know what I'm saying?
no,
It's a
yeah.
lot of money. So I mean, I get it. It's strange, but I get it. It's strange.
It's
It's
nothing I
strange
can
situation.
partake in. I can't. I mean, but here's
Yeah.
the thing. I'm speaking from a very privileged Western mindset that I haven't
Right.
had to make those decisions in my mind. I bet you if I was
Right.
put in that position and I've had to make those decisions, my view on it right now would be quite different. So let
Mhm.
me not act holier than thou. Let me not act like my stuff don't stink when I go to the bathroom. It does.
Right.
I just thank God that He's given me s- ways in life I haven't had to make decisions like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why, and you've seen it, and you're the exact same way. With the right
Mm-hmm.
person, you're generous. Like how many times we've gone out to you and I at one piece, we tipped the same amount of what our food came up to.
Yes, sir. Supposed to.
We tipped the same.
Supposed to.
So yeah, and that's the crazy part. And remember, you and I had a full plate. We had the pork. Did we have pork chops or ribs? One of the things. We had the rice. We had the plantains,
We had the pork
and
chops. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it came up to 2,500 pesos for the two of us. 2,500
You're like,
pesos.
oh, I'm finna double up. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get it.
Dude, yeah, yeah. You know what? Yo, here, you could take for real. Because remember, it's a communist country, so no one there tips. No one there tips.
Yep.
So
They're
here's the
actually,
secret.
I seen my ex out there. She got kind of mad when she seen my tip amount. Man, she actually, no, no, literally, I want to say, if I remember right, she took it back. She took some back. I was like, dang, you got kind of angry. It was like it was on me like $5, $6 tip maybe I gave,
Hmm.
$7 maybe, and she was like, Mars, muy Mars, so
Dude, the reason why I tip well is because I always want them to remember me because I want good service when I come back. You
right.
know how many times? Yeah, how many times
Do
when we
you
went
know
to
how
X?
strong those drinks going to be? Like, you go to the bar and you tip, do you know how strong your drinks are going to be? Your mojitos? Drink three of them and you stumbling. Yes, sir.
Dude, I've had people move me to the front of the line where there was a line to get into places. Why? Because I tipped well in the past. They remembered me from the past. And when I'm there, I'm not acting American. If it takes a long time for my food to come, it takes a long time for my food to come. I'm not going to be
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, what's going on? Rah, it's just not
Oh,
that's not my thing. You
like
know,
average wait time, y'all. Like average wait time on food in Cuba, the fastest I've gotten my food is 20 minutes. The average is
yes,
probably 30,
yes.
35 minutes. So order some mojitos, kick back, get on the phone, text some
Yeah,
people.
everything's made to order. They do not
Yeah.
make things, for the most part, they do not make things in advance and have it sitting there. If you're going to a restaurant, they do have the smaller paladars where they sell fried chicken, and that's kind of
Mhm.
already fried. They drop it in the water to kind of
Yeah.
drop it back in the
We
oil to
talking
bring
about
it back
sit
to
down
life.
places. We talking about sit
Yeah,
down places though. You're going to wait about 35, 45
yeah,
minutes.
it's coming from scratch. It is. So if you order a pork chop, that pork chop's coming from scratch.
And
It
that
is coming
pig
from
just
scratch.
got killed that day too. That pig
Yeah,
just
yeah,
got
yeah.
slaughtered.
But
Yeah, that's
listen, dude,
good,
that
man.
it, you
Yeah.
being Southern, me being so, yo, that pork was good, bro.
It
It was
is.
good.
That's the best
It
pork
was.
quality probably in the world, to be
Oh
honest.
my gosh, dude! It was. I was in Trinidad once, and I had a double bone butterfly pork chop
Mm,
grilled over charcoal, bro. I'm still tasting it. My mouth
hitting,
is watering right now. I'm still tasting it, bro.
hitting it. Yeah, hitting.
Dude, the
Yeah,
moment
man.
the gas stuff comes back, you and I are taking a trip. We're gonna fly into Santa Clara. We're gonna take a cab from Santa Clara to Trinidad, hang out there. We're gonna take the bus back to Havana and fly back home out of Havana. That's how we're gonna do the trip.
So we should, because I'm not flying
We're gonna go
anywhere.
from we're gonna fly. We're gonna fly from Miami straight to Santa Clara. From Santa Clara to Trinidad is about an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half
Hmm.
bus ride or cab ride, and we're gonna chill in Trinidad for like 2 or 3 days. Dude, I'm telling you, Trinidad is just a is beautiful. The beach there, it's amazing. It's a different vibe.
Hmm.
And then we're gonna hang out there. There's that discotheque, that club that's built inside the cave. We're gonna go there. Then we're gonna head back to Havana. But
Hmm.
anyway, I'm sorry, I'm talking your ear off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no. That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. See, man, like I said, man, it's a cool little rundown on Cuba, man.
Real quick, for anybody that's watching this, pack toilet tissue. Pack yes, pack wet ones. But when you go to the remember when you
Gotta
go to
have
the
it in the
restaurant,
right.
you get one napkin. You got to
Most
make that
definitely,
work.
man. Unless you're in Vidado, but go ahead.
Elia let you in Vidada. All right, you in Central.
Yeah.
They're giving you one napkin. You can have the sloppiest pizza. You get one napkin. See, so listen. I'm telling you right now. Pack toilet tissue. Okay. I also bring paper towels, and I also bring wet ones, a small little wet ones. I bring man
Hmm.
wipes. I bring man wipes. That's just my thing. Have you rented a place where you can't flush? You have to man wipe, and there's a little garbage next to it.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course. I've been there 20 million
Yeah,
times. Now
yeah,
on
man.
the higher levels, you can. If you're up 7, 8 floor, they tell you it's okay. Just don't do too much. But the older, all the buildings are old, but they'll pretty much let you know. But majority
Yeah,
of
I'll
my
let you know.
places, I've been able to flush. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the only other thing. You got to be
So we
careful.
call them bathroom biscuits. That's what it's called. That's what my
Yep.
mentor
Yeah.
called them, bathroom
Yep.
biscuits. Yeah, man. But it was nice rapping, which I think we kind of touched bases on everything. I guess we can end it with I don't want to get into the politics really.
Let's save that
Yeah,
for the next one, man. Let's save that for the next one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to get
And
into
then
that.
that we got to
Yeah.
get Keenan on. We got to get other people on so we can
We got
really
to get
start
Kev
arguing and
on
fighting.
here and Buddha and
And
stuff like
Buddha,
that. Talk about
crazy
some
Buddha, man,
situations.
crazy
Crazy,
Buddha,
crazy. We got to get
crazy
it.
Buddha. Oh, that dude's crazy, man. But he's
Yeah, we
fun.
gonna get it.
He's
Yeah,
fun, but he's crazy.
he is, man. But yeah, so that's what it is, my guy. About to get me some sleep, man. So
All right, brother. Yeah, I
yeah.
know. I got to be at work in 7 hours.
Yep. It's already, what time is it up there? It's same time. It's
Yeah, same
11:49.
time. Yep,
Yep.
11:49, brother. Listen,
All
it's
right, my
always
guy.
a pleasure. It's always a great time talking
Already,
with you, brother.
y'all let me.
All right, you stay out, bro.
All right.